Jimbo's Garage.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Jimbo's Garage. Well, I got what I think is a score here. You know, it may not be some people's treasures, other people's treasures. A good friend of mine has a bunch of stuff like this in his shop, and I was over there visiting with him the other day, and we were talking a little bit about what I got going on. He knows all about all my videos and stuff, my shop. He's been over here several times. And I told him I was getting ready to build a table for my new lathe that I acquired. And I said, yeah, I'm going to be building this and putting it over there. And he goes, well, hey, why don't you come back in my shop and let's take a look and see what we have. I might have something for you already. So he had all kinds of different stuff. Didn't quite fit the size that I was looking for. I've already purchased the metal to build the table exactly how I wanted, but he did have this cart right here that caught my attention. And what I thought was pretty cool about this is, first of all, it's really super heavy duty, and I like the size of it, and I'm constantly moving things from one side to the other in my shop, or bringing in plywood and trying to transfer something, awkwardly onto this table. And so I thought, man, what a nice cart this would be to be able to have, to put things on, roll around, slide it on and off the table, or roll it out up to the front to do any painting or whatever you got to do. Pretty cool. So what happened here is this thing is so old that the tires on the bottom actually are hard rubber. They just blew apart when we started rolling it. So we're going to get some new casters for it. I got them right here. These are heavy duty commercial casters with locking casters. Just nail me to put it into position and set the lock so it'll stay sturdy, what I think is pretty cool. And if you notice that I thought it would be a good idea to maybe make this the same height as my welding table so I could transfer stuff over easily or work off of both at the same time. The problem that I have here is the welding table's level and the floor of my shop is got some fall to it, for drainage in case you want to wash it out, the water goes out. So I have a difference of a ½ inch between here and there. So I decided that I didn't want to mess around and try to get this thing adjusted to the same height as this. So I'm going to leave it just the way it is. But what I am going to do is I'm going to raise it up close to this height right here, maybe within a ½ inch here and a ½ inch there, so it'll make it that much easier to work from, or if I had to have a couple different layers. So I was scrounging around my shop trying to figure out how to do that, and I found some 3½ inch square tube cutoffs like this. I've got several of them, and I thought, well, when I cut the casters off, I'll go ahead and cut these to the height that I need to raise this up to where it's going to take to get really close here. I'll weld those on there, cut some blanks out for here, and then weld the casters on top of that. And then we'll be, by the time I put the steel plate on the top of this, we'll be within a ½ inch here and a ½ inch there. And I think that's going to be close enough. So that's what we got to do. So with that said, let's get started. Alright, so I got started with my angle grinder here with a cutoff wheel and proceeded to cut these casters off. And I thought I was going to have a little bit harder of a time doing this, but it actually came off fairly easy. I was able to cut through those welds pretty good, and was able to just get a chisel in there and just pop those things right off. And once I did that, I just took a grinder and with a grinding wheel on there and just flattened out the existing welds that were on the plate and got them nice and smooth. Okay, so I got all the casters all cut off, and I got the flat plates grounded down flat, and so I'm flipped it over. Now I need to get this, like I said, I'm not going to be able to get it perfectly level to this, but what I'm going to do is get as close as we can, and it's going to be within a ½ inch, and that's going to be close enough for what I'm going to be doing. So, so I got these casters, and I've measured these casters, and they are exactly 5 inches from here to here, and then I'm going to have a ½ inch plate on the top of this thing, and then I've got this ½ inch stock that I'm going to be welding to the top of this, which the casters will be welded to the top of this. So the casters are 5, a ¼ plate on the top of the table, and a ¼ plate here. That's 5½ inches. And then I'm going to measure this here. And this here is 9 1/4. So I'm going to take 9 1/4 and I'm going to minus 5 1/2. Oh, my math sucks. That's for 3 3/4. So 3 3/4. That's what I need to cut these things at. I'll cut 4 of them at 3 3/4. And by the time I weld that on, the plate on here, and the casters on there, and the plate on the top of the table here will be within a 1/4 inch here and a 1/4 inch over there, and that's going to be pretty good. Let's do it. All right, so I took the 3 1/2 inch square tubes over to my cutoff saw, where I proceeded to measure and cut those to the proper length. And you know, I can't say enough about this metal cutoff saw with this carbide blade. It just cuts through this stuff like butter. It really worked out really good right here. And then I took them over to the welding table, where I had my 4-inch square by 1/4 thick plates I just happened to have hanging around by coincidence, and they worked perfect for what I was using right here. And I went ahead and got all 4 of them welded out all the way around. And right here you're going to see the finished welds actually look pretty good. You know, the Everlast Power Admig 205 worked flawlessly for this. So once I got that done, we got the casters and I put them on. And as you can see, I just put about 1 inch, 1.5 inch little bead around each corner, and that's going to be enough to hold those into place. And that worked out really good. And then moved over to the table, where the existing plates on the bottom were just perfectly flat and at the right size, and I was able to just place these things on there and weld them out. And it worked out really good, and I'm really pleased the way that turned out. You can see I put about 1.5 inch bead on there, and really worked out good. Alright, so now I got these wheel locks. I'm going to go ahead and lock the wheels into place. Hopefully it'll hold this thing from going anywhere. Pretty solid. Now I just need to see if I can get this piece of metal up on here. Well, there it is. Well, let's get it back in the shop, get it positioned, and it's almost good. Well, there it is. Got it on here, and as you can see, it's like I said from the beginning, it's not going to line up perfectly with the welding table because my floor is sloped, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. It's close enough, and this also provides a good worktop for if I want to be mobile and put something on this thing and move it around the shop. It's going to be good. And I got to remember, this is not the piece of metal that's going to be on the top of this permanently. This is the piece I had cut especially for the lathe table that we're going to be making. Now that I can move this onto here and move this out of the way, that gives us room on the welding table to build the table for the lathes, which I think is going to be coming up in the next video. So anyways, I think it was a great find, this cart. A buddy of mine just really helped me out on this. I think it's pretty awesome. It's going to do this shop really good in future videos. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more videos.
See you next time on Jimbo's Garage.